So, how do you keep moving towards your dream? How do you actually do this? How do you follow your dreams in general? Well, that's what this whole series is about, the choose, move, and follow the light. And this episode is about number 2, which is move. You always have to move towards your dream. You have to make something happen along the way. But most of the time, we end up stopping. And if you have ever run into that, like I have run into it all of my life, I've stopped myself all the time. Um, I've got some things that you can maybe try to help you keep moving, and also some things you can try when you stop to get yourself moving again. And it's all really about energy. So stick around. I'm Michael Kowal, and welcome to my world. So I've come to realize that moving is actually really a story about stopping, because we're always going to stop. Whether you've been at this for a long time or just a very short period of time, following your dreams, going after your passion, trying to make happen what you want in life, we are always going to stop. Now, that can happen for a lot of different reasons, whether it's our own minds and fears and insecurities stopping us, or difficult things in life, or just the fact that we're just starting out and it's hard and it's difficult and we don't know what the hell we're doing. We're going to stop. So how do you keep going in those cases? How do you keep following your dream? How do you make it actually happen? How? This is where the pedal hits the metal, the tire hits the road, whatever. This is how you actually make it happen. Now, I'm going to end up talking about some weird things along the way, because I always do that. But we're eventually going to get to the 3 scenarios, kind of, I think, what I just mentioned. We're going to get into talking about how do you keep moving, because that's the best way to not stop, is to keep moving. Second thing is going to be is how do you recognize when you're trying to stop yourself? And the third thing is, once you've come to a real hard stop in going after your dream, when you've given up even completely, how do you get going again? How do you get yourself moving? So we'll hit all 3 of those. But in the beginning, what I want to talk about is I just want to talk about a couple of odd, weird things. And that has to do with energy. Now, we are energy. I'm sure you probably get this by now. You keep hearing it all over the place and everything. But, whether from a physics standpoint of this matter is really not hard matter, it's just complete energy is what it is, to the esoteric stuff of we're all just beings of light and energy. I don't care which one you subscribe to, but we really are energy. And energy likes to do what? Energy likes to move. Energy is in constant movement. It is always going. And if you can put it in motion to energy, energy is happy when it is moving. Now, how I can say that is because we are energy, and when we are in movement, when I am in movement and particularly heading towards my dream or the thing that I want, that I choose, that's where I'm the happiest. And I'll bet it's the same with you too, right? You kind of feel that, right? You kind of feel yourself, oh yeah, I'm kind of sporting everything here, man. I'm doing really good. I got confidence. I am making things happen. I'm moving towards that thing that I want to create. Energy loves movement. It kind of is what it is. So it is who we are. We love movement. We love to move towards a thing, which in the series of choose, move, and follow the light, that's the first aspect. You have to choose where you're going to go. Because if you're wandering aimlessly, it doesn't work too well. You're not as happy. But choose that thing that you love, right? And head towards it. Everything works out really nice. We feel the flow inside. We feel the happiness. We feel the joy. We feel the lightness of follow the light. Choose the thing that makes you feel lighter when you do it. But now, what happens when we don't follow our dreams? Let's say when we're not on that path, when we're not kind of actively doing things along the way to get there, right? Well, what happens is we begin to stop, and that energy that was going in that direction, that was moving in a specific place that we chose to head to that place to get us to where we want, as soon as that energy stops, it begins to kind of, drift around a little bit, right? Have you felt that before when you're kind of like adrift? It's kind of like, well, I'll do this and I'll do that. I'll maybe, drive down to the mall. Maybe I'll go for a little walk or something like that. Or maybe I'll eat 15,000 pints of ice cream, which is what I tend to do when I'm stopped. Or maybe it's play a video game or whatever. Now, each of those things alone and by themselves, perfectly fine. Play your video games, eat your ice cream, not 15,000 pints of it, but it's all fine. But the problem is when we get stopped, when we're not heading towards there, when we're not directing our energy to something, the energy is chaotic. It starts going off in its own directions. It starts pulling us places. It starts taking us places that are not really that great. And to be honest with you, what really happens, and I've seen this time and again for myself, what happens is that energy, that chaotic energy that's just kind of like drifting, kind of going around and everything like that, because it tries to stay in movement. Our beliefs and our thoughts, those crap ones that I like to talk about, right? The ones that, we don't like ourselves, or, the ones, the normal ones that I think everybody has, which is, it'll never work. I'll never get there, right, to my dream. I'll never create what I want. Or the worst ones, of course, are I suck, I'm lame, I'm never going to get there, I just had better give up on everything. Because those thoughts, they're tricky little suckers. Those thoughts end up grabbing that loose energy, that chaotic energy, and they start using it. Because all of a sudden they're on a mission. So instead of your energy heading on a mission towards what you want to create, those individual thoughts and beliefs start grabbing onto that energy, start taking it and using it. And they start, what do they do with it? They direct it back onto ourselves with the exact thoughts that they are, right? Where it's kind of like, oh, you know what? I suck. See, you stopped again. You didn't follow your dream. You're a loser, right? I can't do that. Oh man, see what I just did over there? It was terrible. The video that I just made 5 weeks ago, oh, it was horrible. It was terrible, right? We start really, literally, like I was just doing, we stab ourselves with those bad beliefs. We're taking that energy, that great, powerful energy that really is us. It's us in movement. And we start directing it back at ourselves. And in the end, what does it do? It makes us inside like small. It makes us small and insignificant. We keep reminding ourselves of the truth that, you'll never make it. It's never going to happen. So when you stop, those thoughts begin to take over. Those thoughts begin to take your energy that was being directed towards that dream of yours of building a real estate empire, of building a video channel, right? Of painting, of fixing a car, of doing anything that you want. And it takes that energy and directs it back, and you hurt yourself with it. That's why when you're not actively following your dreams, it hurts. It's painful because we're kind of stuck. We're stopped, right? And moving is a story of stopping. So how do we get past that? How do we get beyond that, right? So I've got the three things. And the three things is kind of you have to look at the different phases of stuff, right? So one of the things I believe is that when I'm following my dream, when I'm going after it, the best way to not stop is to keep moving, is to keep yourself in moving, keeping yourself going towards that goal. So that's the first one. The second thing is a lot of times I'll stop myself and I don't even know it. So you have to get good at recognizing when you're in the process of stopping yourself. So we'll talk about that. And then the third thing is once I've stopped, how do I get going? So keep moving. First, number one thing. That's your first number one priority. So I've seen this in a lot of people, loved ones, family, friends, and particularly in myself, that when I'm stopped, I don't even want to get moving, right? So the trick is to keep moving to begin with. Now, how do you do that? So the easiest thing is to do something every single day towards your dream. Now, that can be a small, little, what you might even call insignificant act, right? So let's say if you want to paint, because I like using that as a thing. Everybody gets the concept of painting. So let's say if you want to become a painter, right? You don't have to necessarily be sitting there every day finishing a complete masterpiece of a painting, right? If you can do that in a day, you go ahead and do that. If you want to spend 5 hours, you go for that, because when you get that energy moving towards that, you feel fantastic and you get that momentum going and you get the self-confidence and you keep going. But on those days where it is a little more difficult to do something, what you can do is just take one small action towards that particular place. If you need to buy a new brush, you buy a new brush. If you want to pull out some paints and just kind of play around a little bit, you keep doing it. But what that does is it keeps your energy in movement. It keeps it directed towards a goal. And it helps you from that place of being chaotic, the energy around you. You're directing it. Now, again, this is where that third step in the choose, move, follow the light comes in. You get to choose each action that you take each day, or 5 actions or whatever. You get to choose the one that makes you feel lighter in each step. Not the one that feels heavier, the one that feels lighter. And that is the best way to keep you moving. So if you're painting a painting, maybe one day this particular painting, you don't feel like doing this one. It's fine. Skip over to the other one. Or do a lesson at that point. Anything to keep you going, because there you're keeping that energy moving. You're keeping yourself moving towards the thing that you want. That is the number one most important thing for you to do, is to keep that going. There's a saying I like. God, I just forgot the saying. That's so funny, but now I remember it. Don't worry. The saying is habit kills chaos. Habit kills chaos. If you can work yourself into the habit of just taking one small action each and every day, that habit will keep you moving and it will break the chaos. It won't even allow it to come in. So keep yourself with a small habit of doing even one small thing each day, because you feel like you're moving towards that goal. You're keeping the energy moving. Always keep remembering that. Keep moving. Now, second one. A lot of times we like to stop ourselves, right? And a lot of times for me, I don't even realize that I've stopped myself. But the keys to remember, if you want to know if you're stopping yourself from going after your dream, even if you think you are each day, if you start getting cranky, like me, if I start getting cranky or angry or mad, it means I'm not heading towards that. Because why? Because I'm not allowing who I am to flow towards that place. I'm in the process of stopping my energy. Now that could happen just as easily as, let's say, if use the painting analogy. If I'm painting and I put out a painting that's not particularly exciting to me, I can sit there and immediately the thought happens, oh, that sucks, right? But now what's going on? That energy that I'm heading towards that particular goal, that thought that it sucks has now taken a little bit of that energy from heading straight forward instead of moving. And I start bringing it back into myself, going, oh, that kind of, it doesn't work. I don't like that. Now stretch that into a couple more of those thoughts. And again, they start pulling away that energy, right? And it starts directing back into ourselves. You've got to watch yourself when you do things like that. Now, in that case, where you sit there and you go, this thing sucks, here's one tip for you that will actually get you past that. Wait a couple of days. Don't look at it right then. Wait a couple of days for any decision that you've made or whatever. If you've done it and you think you hate it, wait a couple of days. Because those thoughts tend to attack things pretty quickly. Once you've waited a couple of days, you'll look back at it and you go, oh, that wasn't so bad. It was pretty good, actually. And then you get the energy moving again. So don't make any judgments with that. Another thing to watch out for is don't try to do everything all at once. Give yourself the time. Understand that you're not going to be a master painter in 2.5 days, although you want to. Believe me, I want to all the time. It's going to take a while. But if you sit there and you relax back into it, simply get into the process of creating the steps along the way, you've got your energy and movement, and you will eventually get there. And every day that you live like that, you are actually being that dream. In the case of painting, you are actually painting. You're heading towards that goal. You're living your dream. If you're trying to build real estate as an investment, and that's kind of your dream and your desire, and you enjoy doing that, every day that you work towards that, you are living that dream. You don't have to have the empire completely set up to begin with. You're living your dream each and every day as you head towards there, as you keep the energy moving towards there. And that's the trick. In all of this, just keep it going, keep it light, follow the light, choose those actions that will get you there easily, that you enjoy, that make you feel lighter as opposed to heavier. Keep those going and you're going to be doing okay. And then when you get to a place where you've completely stopped, what I call a hard stop, where you can't move forward at all, where you're on the 15th of the 30 pints of ice cream that you're going to eat, or whatever happens to be that you're doing, and you really don't want to keep moving forward, at that point, I found that there's 3 things that I can do, actually. The first thing is just get in movement, no matter what. Usually I find it's exercise. If you're sitting stuck, if you're sitting stopped, and the energy, you're directing it back onto yourself, or it's just all chaotic, your whole life has no purpose, get out and go for a walk. Clean your bedroom, clean your home, clean your bathroom, exercise, do something to get yourself in motion. Because in doing that, you're going to break the habit of being stopped. In that, you're going to get your energy moving. And as soon as you've probably experienced this before, as soon as you clean your bedroom or you clean your home, something feels better. And that's because your energy is moving. It's no longer stopped. So keep trying that. Do the exercise, get moving, number 1. Second step after that, after you do that and you're starting to feel a little bit better, and you will feel better, take one small step towards your dream. Just take one small action, just one small thing that feels lighter, that's kind of fun. If you want to paint in your life and that's not really working, maybe you do a coloring book. Maybe you sit there and get back to that spark that first got you going. Take any small step that you can, just one step that first day, and make that happen. Then the last thing to do is the next day, take one more small step. And the day after that, the same thing and the same thing. Just one small, tiny step that makes you happy towards your dream. Because in that, you'll start getting the energy going again. You'll jumpstart it. You'll no longer be sitting back, and you can begin the process then of building it up to even greater things, bigger things. Just get it started again. Exercise, get yourself in movement. Take that movement, direct it towards what you want in a very small way, and then keep repeating that over and over again. Because really, 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 in the end, moving is a story about moving. It's about keeping moving, or getting yourself moving again once you've stopped. That's all there is to it. It's a lot more difficult than that, but that's all you got to do. Just keep yourself moving. Just get going when you've stopped. And there, you'll get to your dreams. Now, if you want, hit the like button, hit the notification to get the notifications of when all the new videos are out. But in the end this week, do that. Just move. Just pick one small thing and keep yourself moving towards your dream. Make yourself happy. Keep the energy going and recognize when you've started to direct the energy back into yourself, because that always ends in hurt and pain. Keep yourself moving. Keep yourself going with the light, and you're going to enjoy yourself. Love you.